Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is FireMage, and welcome back to Rimworld Ascension Take 2, Episode 65. If you enjoy this episode, please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, mod list is down in the description. And with that, let's get on to the episode. Alright, well, picking up where we left off last time, what are my plans for today? Well, what we're going to be doing over here at the main base is, of course, continuing work on our new road and bridge, and, of course, the chem fuel refinery. But we will also today be working towards the Mechanoids, or the Mechanator, I should say. However, as I stated last time, we can't exactly start that until these three over here mining the uranium make their way on back. So we're gonna have to wait on them. Shouldn't take them too terribly much longer. Wiggy has already successfully mined out 4 pieces of uranium. Should only be a few more days on that front. But once that is done, they will make their way back, and we'll go ahead and call down the Mechanator. In other news, though, our farmers seem to have successfully harvested our field of fiber corn, which is very good, giving us a good amount of resources. However, I need to make some little changes. Namely, I no longer wish to grow fiber corn here. I wish to grow something else. Specifically, I wish to start growing some cotton, because I need cloth for a few projects, namely sandbags. The timber caps, if they ever do get the chance to grow, should be enough to provide us the wood we need. In fact, I think what we're going to do in order to prevent them from being constantly eaten is we'll go ahead and simply throw up a basic concrete fence around it. And that should, in theory, keep out any animals. Of course, we'll have to send our construction team over to get to work on that as soon as possible. It would appear that I forgot to specify to make our heavy carapace helmets out of steel, because this one was made of depleted uranium. Well, that is certainly something, not what I was intending to do, but that does give it a protection value of 142%, so that's not a bad thing, but we don't really have a lot of depleted uranium, and I would personally like to conserve our depleted uranium for some other projects, so let's go ahead and fix that. Tell it to only use steel. Can't believe I forgot to do that. That is quite inconvenient. But I suppose we have 2 of them now, so might as well keep them. In fact, we can use those for the shock troopers, I guess. And now that those are updated, all we have to do is inform them to go and take off those helmets. Well, after looking at our current helmets, which are made of uranium, it would seem they are actually better than the steel heavy carapace helmets, albeit not by much. So we're gonna go ahead and drop that order, since the uranium helmets are just outright better. No point in wasting our resources on that. Oh, and we have a combat supplier in orbit. Well, isn't that convenient? Well, before we try to trade with them, I think it's time for us to slap down a couple more orbital trade beacons, because I would like to try and sell some of our other goodies we have lying around. So, Best, if you could please work on that orbital trade beacon. And then we'll send Skypanese to build this one. That should cover the majority of our stuff to sell. In other news, though, while our constructors are working on those trade beacons, the uranium has been mined and has provided us 583 uranium. Excellent. Let's go ahead and get these guys on their way back. And there we go. The last of the trade beacons has been constructed. Bella Rose, please go hop on the comms console and let's do some trading. All right, let's see. So this is a combat supplier. So they should be willing to supply us with weapons. Well, they don't have very many good weapons, if I'm being totally honest, but they are willing to buy our frag grenades. So we'll go ahead and sell those off. And I think that's about all we can reasonably sell them, other than a knife, apparently. Oh, and a handful of other melee weapons. Lovely. But we really don't have a whole lot to offer them. So we'll instead buy all of their medicine and their very limited amount of components. Well, that'll have to do for now. Get us a couple goodies, and you know what? Bella Rose, go ahead and call in another trade caravan. And our caravan has returned. Excellent. Let's go ahead and get them back up here and parked, and then we can call down the Mechanator and get those goodies. All right, and with the trucks parked and the haul being unloaded, let's go ahead and start getting our soldiers equipped. Now, of course, we don't have enough equipment for everyone to carry weapons. That's kind of intentional. We will also be equipping some of our soldiers with EMP launchers because, well, we're fighting a bunch of Mechanoids. So we're gonna need EMP launchers. Probably. Better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. And on top of that, we will also be bringing the tank and the highwayman to bear so that we can have even more firepower to take on this Mechanoid threat. All right, and with the last of the weapons being reloaded, let's go ahead and draft up our little army and make sure that we get them all gathered up right here in the center of town, since they don't really have anywhere else to go. Senga, you will drive the roadkill. And let's see, who else do we have who will be driving? Namux, you will board the highwayman alongside Mooks as your gunner. War Caskets, just come stand down here, and I don't think we'll need the rocket artillery, so the rest of our colonists can just do what they do and be on standby for rescue operations. And now that everyone is mostly gathered up, let's go ahead and accept the quest. All right, so it should be crashing right now. Where is it crashing? Oh, perfect. Other side of the map. Okay, not too bad. We might actually be able to hit them with rocket artillery, because they are not really being very threatening right now. So let's do that. Silveranus, board the Scythemen. Sparkles, also board the Scythemen. Vehicles, go ahead and start your engines and drive on around. Actually, before you do that, let's load the War Caskets up into the Highwayman. All right, let's begin some rocket salvos. Luckily, they are all nice and neatly tight together, so the rocket artillery should be super effective. And here it goes. Rocket artillery is out. Let's just hope we don't kill anything important. Let's get the roadkill on the move. Park it right here, as well as our infantry right here on the bridge. Highwayman, you will also go down here, just a little faster than the rest of them. Ah, and now they are launching their counterattack. but only after I hit them with rocket artillery. Perfect. Well, we still got more salvos. Now, which direction are they going is the question here. Oh, looks like some of them are going for the turrets, and some of them are going to try to punch through right here. Interesting. Interesting strategic choice on their part. In that case, our rocket artillery will once again do a little bit of a split fire with some overlap. Alright, rocket artillery is out once again. Let's see, they are spreading out slightly. So hopefully the rocket artillery is still effective here. And it is quite effective. And we can still fire even more salvos. Why not? Let's launch one right here. And launch another one up here, since they seem to enjoy going in this direction. Ah, right, the roadkill's gonna have to go the long way, because it's a little big. Well, the highwayman's able to punch through right here, which is good enough for me. Infantry, move up. And it would appear that for some reason, White went berserk and then got shot a whole bunch. Well, this is why we have people on standby for rescue operations. Because this kind of stuff happens. Alright, unload Baskeling from the highwayman. Ah, they shoot lasers that light things on fire. Whip that turret around. Start lighting them up. In fact, just run them over. They're robots. They're quite dumb. Will they even move? Yes, but not nearly fast enough. Infantry, go ahead, form a bit of a firing line. Oh, the tank's being overrun. Well, it's still a tank, so we'll just have it drive forward. There we go. Bring it on down here. Then have it whip around. Perfect. Well, this was significantly less dangerous than I was anticipating. Ah, and our tank is out of fuel because it lost its chem tank, as per usual. Alright. Well, in the end, that was not very threatening. I think we killed them all. I suppose everyone can now just go back to doing whatever it is they do. Oh, and it looks like the Pact of Urbonlia sent us a bulk goods trader. Most excellent. But before we engage with that, German, please go extract the mech link so that we can get our Mechanator. And Belarose, you are on the verge of a mental breakdown. I don't exactly feel safe sending you to do a trading mission, but we're gonna do it anyway. Go and trade with them, and hopefully we can get some goodies. Alright, let's see what this trader has to offer. First of all, they are willing to buy the insect meat. Excellent. I don't like the stuff. Let's see, they'll sell us 37 components. Not bad. Buy our leathers. Once again, they will buy our nuclear warheads, but I don't exactly feel confident in selling those just yet. Another good book. We'll go ahead and grab that. And let's sell off a bunch of our meat, since we have so much of it. Alright, and that gets us to a total of 418 in profit. Very good. And there it is, the mech link. German, become the Mechanator. And there it is. Alright. So I've never actually done a Mechanator before, if I'm being 100% honest with everyone. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading up right here. And let's see what we need to do. Alright, I think I understand how it works. So right now, German can handle up to 6 Mechanoids, but we cannot build any of them until we research basic mech tech and build a mech gestator. So we're going to go ahead and get to work on that. Shouldn't take too long. It's 200 on the research. Honestly, that's not really a problem. Oh! And apparently we now have a literal constructor. Fell from the sky. Well, I won't complain. More construction power is always welcome. And there it is. Basic mech tech is researched. And that will let us begin making some very simple robots. None of the combat ones, unless you count the Militors, which are not good. Like, at all. But, you know, we can build them if we need to. And next up on the research, since we're going to expand the hospital, Vitals Monitor. So we can make the hospital just that bit more efficient. And now that we have the mech tech stuff, we need to actually build it. So, first off, let's build a mech recharger. And you know what? Let's just, for now, throw it in the garage. Why not? That seems like a good spot for it. As for the mech gestator, yeah, we're gonna have to build a custom room for that, and I think that being science-y means it shall go where the science is, in the lab. Of course, we're going to need to expand the lab for that, which is something I've been meaning to do anyway, so let's go ahead and just do a little bit of digging. And once that's all nice and dug out, we can expand the laboratory and build some more mechanoid stuff. And there we are. The lab has been expanded. Now, unfortunately, we are still kind of limited on what we can do with it. Mostly because it's, well, I never intended for it to be used in this manner. So it is going to be a little bit lackluster, but I think we can make it work. Now, my main idea here is pretty simple, all things considered. We are going to move the research benches into their own section over here, and then we'll have the mech gestators down here. We're making 2 of them because I don't know how long those are going to take. So I'm playing it safe and assuming it's going to take a while. Better to assume it's going to take forever than presume that they get done quickly. But once that generator gets moved, we can go ahead and start moving these over. And by moving them, I mean reconstructing them, because you can't move them. Oh, and we have yet another combat supplier passing by in orbit. Well, let's see if they have anything for us. It's not likely. We kind of have everything we really need right now, but perhaps they will be willing to purchase some of our excess equipment that we have. All right, let's see. Right off the bat, purchase their components. Always need more of those. Sell that bad sawn-off shotgun. They're willing to buy the backpacks. That's good. And that's about it in terms of what they're willing to purchase. Although they will buy this excellent quality flak helmet for a decent penny. And same with this masterwork. Alright. I can get behind that. Let's see. We need more ammo. We burned through quite a bit, apparently. And we'll take their medicine. Alright, that gets us down to negative 1,050. but we get more of that ever precious medicine. So, all is well. And there we go. The new bridge is finished in all of its proper concrete glory. And now an interesting thing about using the concrete, I found out, we can put asphalt over it. So if we really wanted to, we could make it an asphalt bridge, but we won't be doing that just yet because we have to focus on the rest of this road and, of course, the chem fuel refinery. However, that will have to wait for next time because I'm leaving this episode off here. We made good progress. First of all, we got the bridge done, which is quite nice, as once we get this wall removed, we'll actually have a good spot for our vehicles to go in and out of the base. But on top of that, we also now have German as our Mechanator. All we have to do is set up a little bit of infrastructure in the lab for that, and we will begin making our robot army. Other than that, though, not a whole lot happened. Found out that the armor that we researched that was supposed to be better than the flak armor is at most matching and usually just a little behind it, which is quite annoying. But that is how things play out sometimes. With all that said and done, though, I will see you all in the next episode.